guys, how are you doing? It's me, Ebony. I'm back with another new and noteworthy. I want to start off with my Tradescantia. So go check out that video and you can take a look at my full pot of Blushing Bride. Actually, I stopped by Patuxent Nursery in Bowie, Maryland today, and I was cutting up a bit because I walked away with quite a few finds. So I'm gonna try to get through this and show you what I'm doing. One of the things that I found there was this beautiful Tradescantia tricolor. Now this is different from any of my other Tradescantia. My other new pot is this one. This was given to me by a really good friend and plant friend, and so I was using it just to kind of put things in on my porch this summer, but then I decided that I actually want to have plants in here. These thirsty purple heart Tradescantia, I actually just watered them a minute ago, so hopefully they'll be happy and get them. What I also want to show you are some of the plants that I brought home from work. I don't plan on working there much longer, so I was excited to start bringing some of my plants home. And one of those plants is this Bonnie spider plant. It's actually in pretty good condition, but when I brought it home the other day, I pulled it out, I added more soil, I gave it a bit of worm castings, I'm sorry. And it had a few brown edges, so I trimmed those, and he's looking good already. This is literally the only type of spider plant that I care for, so I'm happy to have him back in the family. I also brought my Homelamina Emerald Gem home. This plant is in really good shape. I did have a few yellowing leaves. I was out of the office sick for like 2 straight weeks, and yeah, he didn't like that. So at some point I kind of got myself together enough to text the coworker to water them, but I think he didn't really appreciate being ignored that way, and Homelamina are really fussy. So he also has spider mites, so I had to clean him and treat him with neem oil, but he seems to be doing okay already. This little succulent, I'm not sure what the name is, but I pulled that from my yard. I've wanted for several years now to have a pot of this. Only one pot full of this type of plant. And I decided to try again, because the last time I tried, it just didn't really happen and I threw it away. So now we're back to that, and I'm excited that he seems to be taking well to his little teeny pot. Other plants that I have, these 2 little tiny cuttings are from my blanket flower in my front yard. This blanket flower I tried to propagate 3 times, and each time everything just shriveled up and died. So since I don't think that it likes being divided, I decided I would take cuttings, or cuttings basically that have roots, but just very small ones, and then I'm gonna kind of let it grow. So far these seem okay. So far they seem okay to me. Keep my eye on them. But it's a really beautiful plant I had already is this calicoe that my son bought for me, and I had it in my big succulent planter just doing his thing. I propagated this one quite a bit. But I decided that since it's blooming and it has these cute little pink flowers, that I would like to have it in a pot and have it kind of like in the house. I love winter growers, so I'm really excited to see it doing so well. So here he is now. And this is a Kalanchoe Marinaria. I'm not 100% sure how to pronounce it, but I ordered these on Etsy. Harley G was talking about them in one of her videos. So this plant here is a lace flower. I wanted to do a separate video about it, but it seemed like it would just be a little mean-spirited. I will say, however, that I ordered this lace flower from Etsy. It costs $35, and when the plant arrived, I could tell, like, in the picture, it was a full 6-inch pot. When the plant arrived, I could tell that the seller had basically dug in the sides of the pot, ripping out a bunch of the plants. So of course, this plant is a little bit finicky anyway, and I ended up losing most of the pot. So this was really just one of the worst plant purchases I've ever had, ever from Etsy. It's the worst. Also, you've seen some of these plants before, but I don't have, I guess technically this isn't a terrarium, but this is definitely a high humidity pot, and it gets pretty bright light. I was at Lowe's or Home Depot and saw this little polka dot plant, which is just so cute, and I decided to pick it up. Pretty much right away, the leaves started just shriveling up and crisping up. So I decided to put it in this little planter situation here, and I'm hoping with the high humidity that this gets, this plant will recuperate. I just had a really small 2-inch pot, and I have propagated it some, so hopefully we'll see. But I just keep it in here. So he's doing well there. And this plant is purple and white variegated cyclamen. As you know, I bought this plant like a month or two ago, and it died really quickly. I tried to propagate it by cutting the bulb, which was really hard, very difficult to do. And I just thought it was so beautiful and I wanted to share. But basically, I'm not going to do that this time. I did a little bit more research. I really haven't even had time to look this thing over yet and pull out like the dead little pieces of foliage, but so far he seems to be doing just fine. At the nursery today, and I decided to go back and purchase it. A couple of months ago when I bought this same plant, it died in like a few days, and I was pretty sad about it. But I've had my Philodendron Imperial Red for a month or two now, and that plant's doing perfectly fine. So I feel like, you know, I'm ready, that I should be able to handle this one. It's a beautiful plant. So yeah, I'm really excited to get another one of these. This plant is a Chrysula. I ordered this from Vintage Petal Pushers on Etsy, and it came in just excellent condition. I did cut one little piece off and put that in an arrangement I made earlier today, but basically it's just a really gorgeous little plant. And these fat leaves, they're so heavy, but they're just furry and really fat, and I think it's just a gorgeous plant. So I put this little trellis in here and then kind of tied it up a bit because it'll just flop all over everything. I also added a lot of perlite because I don't want the soil. I'll water it from the bottom, but I also just don't want the soil to be sitting. I don't want the leaves to just be sitting in the soil that way. I ordered some string of turtles cuttings. These came in good shape as well. I was going to just pot them, but I would like to try to grow some roots, even if it's just a little bit, before I put them in soil, just so I can make sure that they're okay. I ordered online as well. This is purslane, which is basically a weed, an edible weed, but this kind has really interesting flowers. So I was really excited. I'm gonna actually buy some purslane seeds because I know I had some in my flower bed, and I'm pretty certain that I accidentally pulled it all out. New, but what is new is the Apicia Red. This one looks more pink to me, but this was actually at that nursery that I went to today, and I had to pick it up. Since I'm gonna have both of these in this pot now, I just went ahead and added more soil. But yeah, it's really pretty. Exotica. And I really wanted one of these. I think I have 1 or 2 leaves that are the same type mixed in with my silvery Ann. But when I saw this plant, I just, I knew. So this is not new in that this piece of Hoya carnosa was in a small pot already. But what I decided to do was to order some cuttings, and they came in really good shape. And I just took those cuttings and going to end up cutting these, taking cuts from each of these pieces and then sticking them back in there because I want this to get full. But you know, it is what it is. So I said, well, since I don't really have room to buy too many more plants, what I would rather do is just periodically pick up a few cuttings to add to some of my plants that are more, you know, some of the plants that I have that are not really some cuttings to this Hoya curtisii. And when I was doing that, I realized that all of my older stems looked really shriveled up. So I gave the plant a drink, and then I was just kind of looking at it and just watching it. Well, I realized that this plant had mealybug on it. It had 1 mealybug on it. So of course I grabbed my little toothpick and I killed him. But now the plant is still really shriveled up. So I don't know if this piece here is going to make it or not. I ordered these cuttings of a Hoya bilobata, and they came in really good condition. This plant is really nice. I'm still trying to figure it out. I found at Home Depot, and this is a Hoya Crimson Queen. It's a very full pot. It came, actually, it had good soil. It didn't have that terrible peat or the garden coir or whatever it is that they usually just stick stuff in and it's all hard. There's a little bit of yellowing on the leaves, and I did lose a few of the leaves, mostly that were closer to being shoved in the soil. But I really like this one. I think it's a beautiful plant. But not least, this is a plant that I've wanted for the past 2.5 years. I tried to grow it from seed. That did nothing but frustrate me. I found this Rhaphidophora tetrasperma at the nursery today. I had to grab it. It's in good condition. I haven't cleaned the leaves. Well, all right, guys. Thanks for hanging in there. No, I don't have a problem. You know, I'm just living my best life. So, anyway, I'll see you guys later.